All right, so we get a lot of F-bodies in Lemons, and mostly we get the third generation because, they're not as collectible as the first and second generation, and they do not have the incredibly atrocious road holding of the first and second generation. Best of all, like most pony cars, you can just get them anywhere. There's this whole long list of motors that will basically bolt into any of these cars.
The problem is, by Lemon standards, most of those engines are boring. We want to see weird stuff. Rotary, diesel, Subaru Boxer. But whenever a team does an engine swap in an F-body, it's always some other GM V8. Which is why we weren't so excited when Team Lemonbird up at the Ridge told us they'd be bringing an 80s Firebird to the race with a, quote, cool old muscle car swap.
Yeah, so we just assumed it's going to be another 350. Well, we were wrong. It was not a 350, it was a 250, which is to say, not a V8 at all.
That's right, it's a straight six, the classic Chevy straight six, which has roots going all the way back to 1929. This particular version, the 250, came out in the 60s, and although it was used in both in the first and second gen Camaro Birds, it was gone by the time the third gen rolled around.
Yeah, because by then it was old as dirt. Now, there's not a big calendar gap between second and third generation F-bodies, but there is a huge generational gap.
Howdy do, fellow kids.
What?
And even though the small block V8 just kind of carried on all through those years, the lower engine, they went from the straight six, by the time the third gen came out, it was the Iron Duke 4.
Yeah, and they never put the straight six, the 250, into the third gen F-body, and I'd probably rather have one of those straight sixes than the Iron Duke.
Yeah, so the straight six was gone, replaced by the four-cylinder Iron Duke, which was a step backwards, so this conversion is not entirely crazy. The Iron Duke had under 100 horsepower. This old straight six had at least 155.
Well, the SAE changed the measurement standards in the 70s, so that 155
Dude,
horsepower
the Iron Duke
might be...
sucks ass.
Yeah, you're right. So, there's a certain Venn diagram of Camaro Bird chassis. Although the third gen car never had the straight six, both the second and third gen have the small block V8, which means that the engine mounts and locations aren't dramatically different between the two chassis. At least that's how it works in my head.
Yeah, conceptually that's right. In reality, I don't know whether it is or not, but these guys made it work. They got the 250 into their third gen Firebird, and then they tied it all up to a junkyard TH400.
So their theme, it doesn't look like they have much of one. It was pretty subtle. Kit from Knight Rider was, of course, a third-gen Firebird, and there was one or two episodes where Kit met his evil twin car, and the team didn't do much as far as theme aside from putting car on the side, but we did appreciate the reference.
So, how did it do? Well, as you probably know, we have three entirely arbitrary classes at 24 Hours of Lemons, A, B, and C, C being the most awesome, slow, and terrible one.
Yeah, and the winner of Class C wins the most prize money available in Lemons, short of the Index of Effluency, which is the grand prize.
So a 250 swapped third-generation Firebird with a TH400, that is going straight into Class C.
Yeah, of course it is, and at the Ridge, it quickly found itself in a heated Class C battle with a exotic mid-engine supercar.
You're talking about a Previa, aren't you?
Yeah. And the race went down to the wire, and the Lemons was just able to nip the Previa for the Class C win.
So there you go. They wouldn't have had the glory or the recognition or the prize money if they just use an old V8 like every other F-body person does.
That's right. They would have just exploded their rear end like the other F-body at this same race.
So if you're thinking about an F-body, there's a lot of engines you can do. You can do a Wankel, you can do a diesel, you can do a six-cylinder 1929 Chevy. Just come on. Don't bring another small block V8.
Thanks for watching Lemon's World.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Kid! We gotta get this guy to a hospital, buddy!
Michael, that car. It could have been my twin. It was exactly like me.
Not exactly, buddy. It almost killed me.